What other team was absolutely going to take Bo Nix if the Broncos traded down? Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for May 2nd. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
The talk around town was, why did the Broncos take Bo Nix at number 12? They could have traded down into that number 22 spot with the Eagles, but Chad Ryder joined Andrew and Cecil over on Orange and Blue today to discuss essentially that the Broncos could not have done that and still landed their quarterback. Take a listen.
But with the way the board went, realistically, could they have moved down and gotten him? There you go. There's the answer.
No, and here's the thing. Teams don't move down and pick a quarterback. It doesn't happen. It's very rare that it happens. They're moving up to get a quarterback, or they stay put. If they fall back, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, they can trade back to 22 with Philadelphia. No, the Rams were taking Nix at 19. Absolutely, if he's available. So, no, that was not going to happen. It doesn't happen, and it wasn't going to happen. You either take – if you believe in him, you take him. You don't screw around. Now, sometimes a team, as we've seen in the past, and that's why the Vikings did what they did to get to 23, because if the Giants take McCarthy and they don't have a great grade on Nix or Penix, then they've already made that move into the late first to get one of those guys where they think their value is. And that would happen with Teddy Bridgewater. It happened with Lamar Jackson. It happened with other guys, right? Plus Denver didn't have the second round. I mean, I just think they're in a position where they had to have a quarterback, and he might not be plus in a lot of categories like arm strength and height and all those physical characteristics, but he's plus as a competitor. He's plus in experience, and sometimes that works out.
The Rams made headlines on draft day, which is hard to believe it was a week ago today, by saying that they were trying to trade up. Nobody knew who they were trying to get. Was it going to be a quarterback? Reports later came out that it was going to be Brock Bowers, but it is interesting that the Rams would have taken him at number 19 if the Broncos would have traded down. Bo Nix was supposed to come to Denver, and I totally agree with the statement of, you do not trade back for a quarterback. You only trade up for it. So I do find it to just be a fascinating report. They had a wonderful conversation over there with Chad on for Orange and Blue today. So make sure you check out the full episode. This next Mile High Minute is presented to you by Smashburger. You have to see this video of Peyton Manning celebrating Jamal Murray's buzzer beater. For anyone that says Indy is Peyton Manning's place, you're wrong. It's actually the Mile High City. Take a listen. You gotta love Peyton Manning. Now we'll move on to another one of Michael Porter Jr.'s brothers is now facing legal trouble after Javon Porter was arrested on suspicion of DWI in Missouri. Javon was released on summons and did not go to jail, according to reporting from ESPN. The incident happened on early Saturday morning in Boone County. Javon is currently slated to play college basketball for Loyola Marymount next season after transferring from Pepperdine. He averaged more than 16 points and nearly 6 rebounds per game last year. This comes on the heels of MPJ's brother, John Tay, getting banned from the NBA last month for gambling activity, while another brother, Coben, was sentenced to 6 years in prison for a drunk driving crash that killed a driver and seriously injured her passenger. MPJ spoke to the media after the Game 5 win versus the Lakers about everything happening off the court. Take a listen.
Mike, when you're personally going through so much emotionally in the days kind of leading up to the series, how good does it feel for you to have personally the performance you were having individually in all 5 games?
I mean, it feels good, but at the end of the day, like, this is basketball. I got way bigger stuff off the court. But to come in here with, my sanctuary and be able to play well, it definitely feels good. But like I said, there's a lot bigger stuff going on than this.
The Minnesota Timberwolves will be led by a former Denver Nuggets assistant coach when the two teams meet in round 2 of the NBA playoffs. The Twin Cities teams just doesn't know exactly who will be the bench boss. The Timberwolves head coach is Chris Finch, with his key assistant being Micah Nori. The two worked under Michael Malone in Denver and coached some members of the Nuggets' current core. Now, Wolves veteran guard Mike Conley collided with Finch's knee in the final moments of their closeout game against the Phoenix Suns. Finch had surgery to repair his right patellar tendon this week, and the earlier stages of that recovery require his leg to be immobilized in a brace, making an NBA sideline a tough place for Finch. After Finch went down in Game 4, Norrie took over the lead spot on the Wolves bench. You can see on the picture on the right, obviously, he's clearly in a bit of pain as he is on the ground, but Norrie told the media on Wednesday that Finch's surgery went well, and he will be likely joining the Wolves for their flight to Denver on Thursday night. It is expected that Finch will be in Denver for the series opener on Saturday, but the Wolves are still trying to figure out where exactly they'll be placing the recovering coach. Finch could be on the sideline with some musical chairs, essentially, but he also could be placed up in a suite for quick access to the team before the game and at halftime, or he may be in the locker room communicating back to the bench. Either way, it looks like a new element for the Wolves that they'll have to deal with, as Norrie is most certainly going to take on a more responsibility for at least Game 1. Now, Chris Finch isn't the only coach getting hurt during a game either. Sixers coach Nick Nurse injured his hand during Tuesday's wild Game 5 win over the Knicks. According to reports, Nurse may have broken a finger after slamming his hand in frustration over a call. Since it is his right hand, the injury could potentially affect his coaching by leaving him unable to draw up plays. The Sixers will look to to even up the series, on Game 6 on Thursday. I can't imagine punching something so hard that you end up breaking a finger because of a play. And I feel like that's just a little frustrating, but hey, it's the playoffs. So I'll give him a pass on that front. We'll move on now because tomorrow is going to be Randy Gradishar Day. Governor Jared Polis announced that Friday, May 3rd, has been declared Randy Gradishar Day in Colorado. In honor of the celebration, there will be a special proclamation reading held at the state capitol building, West Steps, essentially, Friday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So Broncos Ring of Famer linebacker Randy Gradishar and members of the team's Orange Crush defense was elected to the Pro Hall of Fame class of 2024 this February and will become officially enshrined in Canton, Ohio in August. Gradishar, who wore number 53 for the Broncos, will be joined by Governor Polis, Mayor Mike Johnston, Denver Broncos cheerleaders, Miles the mascot, and the Stampede at the proclamation. So if you have no plans tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., you can head on down to the state capitol building. Travis Kelce is hinting that his new Chiefs contract could be the final deal of his career in the NFL. Earlier this week, the tight end and the Chiefs reached an agreement on a new 2-year extension through the 2027 season. Kelce has faced questions about possible retirement, and on this week's episode of his podcast, New Heights, Travis told his brother Jason that he does not know what his next move will be. He explained, "I've loved every single second of it. I'm going to love the next 2 years playing here in Kansas City, and we'll see what happens after that." The Chiefs reworked his contract, bumping up his salary to $34.25 million over the next 2 seasons. The $17.125 million per year represents the highest average annual salary among all NFL tight ends. I love that Travis Kelce goes on to say, "I got to move the needle for the tight end room." So 2027, could it be the end of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes? Maybe. I would highly not see him being able to go to a different team. And I do think that that's going to be the end of it. There were even talks about Travis Kelce saying, we'll see what happens after this contract, right? His brother just retired. He had talked about it. It is a grueling thing to be in the NFL. So it will be very interesting to see if it does all come to an end in 2027. But to be honest, if you're a Broncos fan, you're thinking 3 more years of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. That makes me kind of want to cry. Last one for you. The 2024 Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs will be run this Saturday. I've always wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby. I think it would be such a blast. And the 20 contestants are expected to be out of the gates around 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you are in your seats if you are here in Denver by 4:45. Coverage of the first leg of the Triple Crown will begin at 2:30 p.m. on NBC. Again, that is Eastern Standard Time. It will also stream live on Peacock. Now, we do know when the Broncos will start their OTAs this spring, I guess I should say. Workouts May 21st through the 23rd, May 28th through the 30th, and then June 3rd through the 6th. Mandatory mini camp will be in June 11th through the 13th, and then the earliest one you got is rookie mini camp starting on May 10th. It'll be here before we know it and go through the 12th. So, oh my goodness, everybody, it is a Thursday. I can't believe a week ago I was in Detroit. That's crazy to even think about. We finally figured out who the Broncos quarterback is going to be, and a lot has happened since then. Always love reading your comments, so thank you guys so much for always chiming in a little bit on your day. Let's see. What's up, Rachel? What happened to Winnipeg being a tough matchup, yo? Yeah, no kidding. I am honestly shocked by this. I thought we were going to see a 7-game series if it was going to come down to that. I thought that the Jets were going to be the hardest opponent that the Avs were going to see. But hey, tomorrow here on Denver Sports Daily, we're going to have a really interesting clip that you're definitely going to want to see from the Jets. So make sure you come back tomorrow. Happy Thursday, Rachel. Happy Thursday. Thank you guys so much for spending just a little bit of your time with me. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and you can be entered in to win and come hang out with us in this studio. You can hang out with the Drive in their studio, plus get lunch from Brothers Barbecue. So make sure you do it. May 10th. You got 8 more days. That's crazy to even think about to be able to enter in to win that contest. Keep up the good job, Rachel. You're doing awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for commenting. Gradishar definitely deserves it 100%. I was at Randy Gradishar's Canton enshrinement thing that they did down at Broncos headquarters, and it was really cool. He was super emotional. His wife was just a treat. She was so excited. She was so emotional. She could barely hold back the tears, so that was really sweet as well. Bo Nix, by the statistics, is just as good or better than any other quarterback taken in the draft. That he is. The Broncos might have gotten a steal at number 12. We're going to find out, of course, but I'm going to be curious to see how the fit between Sean Payton and Bo Nix actually ends up being. Those two can talk ball like no other. And if you watch Orange and Blue today, then you know Cecil Lammey talks about this all the time. It is all about the fit. So I cannot wait to see what they look like out at minicamp, training camp, and everything else. It's going to be here before we know it, everybody. Last one. Rachel, will you be traveling to Avs Rose games in the second round? Much easier to travel to Dallas or Vegas than it was for Winnipeg. Yes, indeed. I'm hoping. It's really going to depend, of course. We've also got Nuggets going on since they advanced to the second round. So I'm not sure what travel is going to look like, but we're pretty lucky here in the Mile High City to have both of these teams being so good and in the playoffs. So not sure what travel is going to look like, but yeah, we got both of them. So we got to roll and figure out the schedule that way. Last one. Let's go. Yeah, heck yeah, let's go on this Thursday. Make sure you come hang out with me on Coffee Break. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Denver Nuggets as well as they get ready for their series against Minnesota. It's going to be a good one. T-Wolves Saturday night. Make sure you come hang out with us. Also, 41 years ago today, get ready for this. The Broncos acquired the draft rights for John Elway. So to think what could have been if that had never happened, right? John Elway, an absolute legend, obviously, here in the Mile High City. But that's going to do it for Denver Sports Daily today. I'll see you guys at 12 p.m. for Coffee Break. Have a wonderful Thursday, everybody. Bye.